what Tesla needs to do is give you a car. Because I tell you what,
I do a lot of speaking on behalf, but I get a lot of perks with them. They, this car got the update yesterday morning. I got up at 6:30 and looked at my iPhone, and it said you have new software, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, the 7.0 software hit. So I jumped out of bed, ran down, went downstairs, got to the car, and it said new software. I pushed a button and went back in the house, and an hour and a half later it was ready to go.
You know, it defies, for us Model T, Model A people, I mean, this is just amazing. You don't tune a car up, you just park it in the garage and let it download.
Isn't that incredible? I know. You just let it download.
I just had our friends that you took for a ride last year, the big fella. They just moved over to California, and we just had dinner with them last night, and we were just talking about this. He was going down to Phoenix to see his daughter graduate, and he said, I said, would you rather skip that and just stick around? We'll get you a ride in that Tesla. He was trying to figure out how to call in sick to his daughter's reception.
All right, so what we'll do here, we're going to put it on autopilot, and we'll get over into this lane. Okay, we'll double click it. Okay, so now
you just
it's in autopilot.
Set the cruise control and go.
Just set the cruise control. I'm going to move it over by pushing the blinker. It's going to move over one lane by itself. I'll turn off the blinker.
Did you feel pretty awkward when you first started trying that?
It really felt really bizarre. But so now, as you can see, it's following. So now it's speeding up to 75 and
K-band.
I was listening to Elon Musk on a Khan University video the other night, and you know, that's just that he just doesn't even think in the same world we do.
No, he really doesn't. So see, I just put the blinker on and it moved over.
Are you going to go for the ludicrous mode? Or
no, I'm going to wait because they're going to come out with a battery that goes 400 miles. I feel it coming. And
what's the life of the batteries?
8 years warranty. So they give you an 8-year warranty on the batteries. So there it is, Jim. It's set at 75. Dude. Windshield wipers are going, rain, and it's just driving itself.
What an amazing deal.
So this is how I drove from Phoenix. Pretty much like this.
This is, you know, this is quite amazing for perspective. Like, say, earlier this summer, I was working with those folks with a 1915 Ford, and then compared to this, 100 years.
So 100 years, and look what we're doing. We're driving, the car's driving itself.
When we took the drive last year on this thing, every other car in the showroom, I was working at the Chrysler dealership at the time, even anything new in the showroom was just antiquated. It's just,
it really is.
This is just absolutely futuristic. And you know, and I know he's had some stock up and downs and some other issues, and there's still some viability about how. There's some questions about how viable his company's really going to be.
Well, I tell you right now.
Sunset over there on that mountain.
Oh my gosh, they're talking he's going to struggle until 2017, and then once he comes out with his own batteries, which they predict next year, he'll start having his own batteries. But by the time he hits a $35,000 to $38,000 car that can go 150 to 200 miles on a charge, then that's when he's going to start making some money.
Because that's where the market's at, and that's what Henry Ford learned.
Yeah.
That the market is not in the high-end cars. You've got to have the budget car.
The budget cars, the cars for the average person.
Yeah, that's where your money's going to be.
So we'll click on the nav. I mean, to think that you could drive pretty much all the way to Phoenix like this.
Yeah, it almost leaves you totally speechless because it's just so surreal.
the next exit and come back.
Yeah, it's about, I think, 4 miles up.
Yeah.
It's just
pretty remarkable. I mean, I was just
I'm really
in awe yesterday when this thing actually did this. I just couldn't believe it. I mean, it was like, I've been hearing about it I got it in December, and they said any month. That's just a radar detector.
I'm hoping next year that with Open Road Productions we can put together this rally all the way from Chicago to Los Angeles for the 90th anniversary celebration. And it would be really interesting if we could get an entire century of automobiles.
Yes.
And the game plan as it stands is, since they would be all different vintages and traveling at different speeds,
right.
Have the rally laid out and make Kingman the rally point for the last drive into...
that would be cool. I could come up through Flagstaff and follow the caravan from Flag or something like that.
Well, right now there's a big stretch along the Route 66 corridor, I-44 in Missouri, that is not doesn't have the Tesla stations.
Oh, it does not.
Yeah,
okay.
No. From Tulsa to St. Louis is pretty blank.
It is.
But
Okay.
they plan. My understanding is by next spring that'll be resolved.
That'll be resolved. Yeah. Yeah, they're putting in these charge stations quite rapidly right now. In fact, if you take a look at the map here, you'll see all of them.
You really, that poor newscaster. She was being rather flippant, but she got quiet real fast.
Yeah, she did. She was not ready for that. So there you go. Look at all the charge stations.
Yeah, Tesla's definitely an outside-the-box thinker.
They really are.
And it really is sad when you think about it that, a new Tesla's just over 100. Like, when you go out and buy a Mercedes, top-of-the-line Mercedes for 100, and you're buying a Model T Ford.
You really are. I know. I mean, I felt like I got a brand new car yesterday, Jim. With all this software, I really felt like I got a brand new car. That's what I love about this company. Every 6 weeks, you get new software. They said the next update will parallel park. Now, somebody told me today that it can parallel park itself now, and he's out testing it right now. So we're going to see if that's really truly the case. So see, it just switched over to nighttime. That's why the screen is turning.
Tudor, I appreciate this. I'm a car guy. I'm a car person.
I know you are.
And this is
I was so excited to know that you were coming, and I was able to give you the first ride in a pretty much an autonomous car at this juncture.
I'm want to do a little bit of video for this and put it on my blog.
Yes, absolutely.
This is just
it's pretty cool. So we're gonna slow down. Watch how I put on the blinker. It's gonna self brake because it's getting too close to that car. So it's gonna slow down now.
And they have the technologies down now. The chances of failure of this process, electronics, is so slim that this is 10 times. I mean, human error is far more dangerous than.
Right. I mean, here's what I love about it, especially for motorcycle riders. I'm not gonna move over because it's gonna tell me there's a motorcycle in my blind spot. Even if I tried to move this car, it's gonna come up with all kinds of warnings to tell me that there's somebody in the blind spot.
This will be the next exit.
Yeah, we'll get off here.
It's amazing the arguments. What I find fascinating is the people who are against Tesla and their arguments for it.
I know. It is.
My arguments against Tesla are relatively simple. I'm modern Amish, and I prefer. For me, the technological world ended somewhere around the Model A Ford.
Yeah.
And so I'm not a Luddite, but I do. But this is just astounding.
It is really, truly. I didn't think they were going to pull it off, Jim. I really didn't, because when I bought the car in December, they said it was going to come out in a couple months. And it didn't happen. And then another month would go by, it didn't happen. And then another month, and another month. And it got to the point where I thought, maybe they're not going to be able to do it. So I'm going to give you a little test of ludicrous, okay?
Oh, gosh.
I'll show you. You're going to have your head back, but we'll show you. Okay, you ready?
Sure.
Here we go.
Yeah.
You felt the torque, right?
Oh,
you felt the G-force. That was a little over a G, by the way. About 1.2 G-force.
There's no way that you're gonna. And a beautiful sunset to boot.
Oh my gosh, it's gorgeous. I'm glad you said that, because especially right here, Jim. Look at this. You ought to get your big camera out and get a